It was going though, right?
It was going.
And then it just stopped. It's kind of weird.
Sorry, guys. For some reason, it stopped recording. Not sure what that was. Anyways,
It's raining.
I wonder-
I don't know if that has anything to do with it.
oh yeah, it could be the
Lightning? I don't
could
know.
be the
We didn't,
lightning.
I didn't see any brownouts or anything, but
Oh, sure.
whatever.
Yeah, so if you see that green stripe at the top go off, then we're offline.
Okay.
Yeah, so I guess we got caught up in the mind mapping part.
We did. So
Yeah.
what is it? What's the
Mind
name?
node,
Mindmeister,
Mindmeister.
or you could just go freehand.
You just
Freehand's
go
always
freehand.
really
You
nice,
you
too.
just draw it by hands,
Yeah.
and like your brain works in colors and stuff like that. So you can use colors, you can use pictures, and that's why it depends on the way you learn. If you learn visually, if you learn by reading, it does all of that at the same
Yeah.
time. You know what I mean?
The new upgrade with MindMeister is nice because you can have those pictures in it right off the internet. That's cool.
Yeah,
I like that.
that's freaking cool.
I do
That's
like
awesome.
that. Do you want to go back and re-explain?
Yeah, sure. I mean,
Because I think we probably
yeah. If we missed
that part.
it, if you heard it, then don't
Whatever.
Don't mind the redundancy. But essentially, mind mapping is a really important tool. I'd say for brainstorming, for developing your ideas, because it's essentially the way your brain works. When you have words, they're always associated with other words. So instead of having these long sentences for your plans, you have
should
these
just show the mind
kind of
map
these
that's behind
single words that represent an
You got
entire idea that you can expand on.
Mind map?
No, it's kind of.
Okay, no, John will get it.
We'll get it up. No, I can get it. I can get it.
Can you?
Yeah.
So we'll show you a real life example of this is actually a mind map that Michelle did, my wife, on
I don't know
homeschooling.
No, I don't think that's gonna.
We'll just put it right in the middle.
Oh, in the middle. Okay.
We'll just keep it here real quickly. Can you see? Yeah, you can see it.
Oh yeah, you see a little bit. Yeah. So essentially, the main idea is the life schooling, and the main branch. So this one's milestones. The other one's structure. The other one's purpose. So as soon as you think of purpose, like it expands into other branches like fun, education, loving, travel. So the important part of it is that you're doing it sort of like in just like an outgrowth kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so it's a perfect way to brainstorm because you just put everything there and you just put the main idea in the middle and then you just ramble off what ideas you have.
And it
They
bursts,
branch off.
it bursts outwards,
Yeah.
so you can expand on it. And when you look at these, you know how they're all associated with each other by looking at it visually.
Yeah, exactly. And it's much it's easier to review it as opposed to just, like traditionally
Like a note,
writing
like
a note
from like top
point
to
forward.
bottom and left to
Exactly.
right, all in the same color.
Yeah,
and
'cause a
in
lot of those
sentences,
ti-
you got to read through it.
Yeah, because this is great because they're just ideas, right? Idea, one word or two words, or just a quick phrase,
Yeah.
which is nice.
And it has helped me when I've done speaking engagements to have a mind map in front of me instead of any notes or
Notes?
cue cards or anything like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Because
that would be
then I just set it up as each branch is a main topic, and when I start on one topic, I just go to the rest of the branches on that topic, and it's just like, okay, so instead of me preparing like a script and preparing like all these like words, it's like doing an entire essay. Why would I do that?
Yeah.
I just put the main ideas on here, then. Like it's already coming from here and from here.
Yeah.
It just
so
comes up.
it'll flow a lot better too, as opposed
I think
to
so.
just reading word for word off
Yeah,
of.
I think so. If you
cards.
practice
If you
it, at
practice
least,
it.
yeah, and then
So it's a different. I mean, it is a really nice way of being able to take notes.
yeah, I'd
and
say
to be able
try
to
it.
recall it.
Yeah, because the other thing is, this is not my mind map.
That was Michelle's.
You know what I mean? But I can read it and understand
And you
what the hell she's
understand,
talking
yeah.
about.
Yeah,
And what it is.
it's a lot easier to understand actually. When I look at it, it's easier to understand if she were to write notes this way and for me to review it as opposed to point form.
Because you get lost in language, you get lost in structure and missing points. Here it's like very very straightforward. Look, activities, family night, game night. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Trips. That's cool.
Very cool.
All right, let's see if we can
sucker
put it
away.
back. Thanks, Johnny.
Yeah, so that's a very important tool,
Yeah.
for entrepreneurs. It's an important tool for anybody, really, to get thoughts, ideas, to brainstorm, to put it down on paper. That's a perfect way to do it. And it's nice. I mean, we talked about using the computer. Computer's great. But it's nice to do it by hand and it feels a lot more creative.
Yeah,
To do
there's
by
something
hand.
about like using a pen and
Yeah.
and putting it to paper. There's
Yeah.
something like really magical about it. I find that the more important ones, like that are really thought out, I do by hand.
Yeah,
And
was it
kind of
more
the
personal?
real quick ones, like if I'm gonna prepare a presentation or
Yeah.
or something like that, I'll just do it like on the computer, so like as quickly as I can.
Yeah, that's nice
That's
too
really
because
all
it's
it is.
organized, it's legible. If you're gonna do like a speech, it's organized, it's legible, it's there. You could email it to yourself. You can pull it up on an iPad or an iPhone. You can print it out if you needed to. You can email it to somebody else if you wanted to. That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, stuff like that's nice on the computer.
You know what? And presentations, like if you're a client or a prospect or an investor or something like that, I could just present you with my mind map as
That's
well.
true.
You know
That's
what I mean?
nice. Yeah,
It's
I didn't even think about that.
it makes sense to them. Like it's easy to explain what it is.
Right.
You know what? It might look kind of crazy. They're like, what? Like, why is this guy showing me this freaking colorful, drawing? This is kind of weird. This is supposed to be a business proposal. But it's like, no, you know what? When you go through it, it's a concise way of understanding something. And that's your job as an entrepreneur is to deconstruct what your service is or what your solution is so that people can understand what it actually is and understand how it benefits them.
Right.
And it helps them make a better decision as well.
It's also an easy way to map out your business and find where the deficiencies or the problems are to be able to target them.
Yeah.
And you can easily find solutions that way too.
Nice.
Right. See the strengths or the weaknesses of your business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mind mapping is sick.
It's a good tool. Yeah, we've been doing it for a while.
And the other thing we used to do is master mind mapping. Which is like a group mind map.
We've done that.
But that's a good experience because you
That's a
do
really
it
cool
on a
experience.
big piece of paper and you're doing like a group.
It's like a chart. We used chart paper before, or even just
Yeah.
like rolls, like big rolls, and just unraveled it.
Those are still around somewhere. I think
Somewhere.
we've put them down smaller. I think we've done that.
Probably.
Put them
Or
onto
even-
MindMeister. I think we put them down
Yeah,
onto MindMeister.
probably.
I'm pretty sure.
Or even, I think I have one in my office, one that we did at Jack Astor. Jack Astor's is great because they've got that big brown piece
Oh,
of paper,
yeah.
and then
Oh, yeah, we
I
did
think
do
we
that.
did. I think we even did a Rentbuster
Wow,
one like that.
feels like.
And it was like
ages.
that, or a place like that, like a.
Oh, can you come in? Or I can turn it too.
So it was a place like a Jack Astor's or a Turtle Jack's or something like that that had the paper on
It's,
top
yeah,
of.
probably Jackass. I think is the one right here.
It could have
that
been
we
right
did,
here.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Or Oakville. What am I thinking that we went to one in Oakville and did that?
who knows, man?
There's so many
Been so many
Jackasses.
places over the years.
So I guess another thing that might be good to talk about for entrepreneurs is, I guess, the uncertainty. Is it recording?
Yeah, sure. I'm just checking the time, seeing how we're doing.
You're just looking
Just
at.
halfway,
I thought
already
you were just
halfway in.
checking yourself out.
I was looking for the green stripe.
Nice. So we're good, actually.
Uncertainty
Uncertainty as an entrepreneur.
as an entrepreneur.
And dealing with it.
Yeah. Well, I could even see without mind mapping how more uncertain you would be about business because you are just flailing, doing whatever, whenever. You haven't even looked at the business and what the key points and where you're actually supposed to be focusing on.
Yeah.
So yeah, there would be a lot of uncertainty, and that's an undertaking again that you talked about passion being the 10%. If you're not doing a mind map,
To
what's
know
the
what-
other 90% that you should be doing
Yeah.
that you're not
the
doing?
rest of the job.
that's all
the rest
uncertain.
of the business. Because you could be like, when you get to the point where you want to delegate, you're just like, hey, you're taking this entire branch of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, this is your job. Everything that's over here, I do this.
Yeah.
And it's like everyone has a clear picture of it. You know what I mean? So
That was
that's-
really important then when we did that.
Yeah, we had a huge one.
We had a huge mind
Yeah.
map. Or even, the mastermind map
It was
of our
scaled
life.
for
that was
good
crazy.
potential. Yeah.
Ridiculous. But yeah, there is a lot of uncertainty as an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Starting out.
Yeah,
There's
I mean,
a
'cause
huge uncertainty.
If you don't know, if you've never tested your market, if you've never seen who's gonna buy your product, if it's the first time you've ever started a business, if you just quit your job, or if you're working your job and trying to start your business on the side, it's like it's the hardest thing to do, to start your own freaking business, man.
Yeah, it's
Like,
very difficult.
I don't think there's it's not made for a lot of people.
Oh no, not at all.
Yeah.
Because it's up here. You
freaking-
got to know, you got to believe up here that what you're doing is going to produce
Yeah,
something.
because you can.
You got to
gonna
put your
go through
activities,
a lot
your
of
energy.
crap.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna go through a lot of ups and downs, and if you can't deal with it, if you don't have the self knowledge and the awareness
And the flexibility
to get through
to-
it,
to
and
make
if you don't have the
changes.
people around you,
Oh, that's huge
how the
too.
hell are you supposed to get through it?
That's huge. That's a big thing that we realized from the beginning was if we want to grow a business, I'm sure we could do it by ourselves, but that's not a business. If you want to grow a business, you got to surround yourself with the right people.
Yeah,
You got to have people who can do the shit that you don't like to do.
yeah,
Because you did all the shit that I didn't like to do. And
Yeah.
I did the shit that you didn't like
and
to do.
vice versa.
Yeah. And it was great that we realized that from the beginning.
yeah. So that's another thing too, like knowing your strengths and weaknesses through the mind map. So
Oh,
it
yeah.
always comes back to that almost, because it's like, here's all the stuff that I like doing. Here's all the stuff that I don't like doing. Do I need to get do I need a co-founder for my company? You know what I mean? Like, do I need to partner up with somebody? And when you partner up with somebody, like, what's the stuff that I need to consider?
Yeah.
And when you start mind mapping it, you have like this visual of like, okay, I have to make sure that this is what they want, and they understand that this is what I want, and this is what we're trying to grow and trying to expect. So it's like everyone has a clear picture of what's going on.
Yeah.
You can't operate a business, you can't grow a business, you can't start one without having that vision. It always starts with that, right?
Absolutely.
Vision.
Yeah. That's a great point. Because, yeah, when we did ours, everything was sort of laid out. But we also had the flexibility and the self-knowledge to be able to look at the business and look at ourselves and make changes. That's a big thing too. If you are going to undertake this opportunity, this venture with a partner, you got to be able to have flexibility to make changes and know that shit, you're going to be wrong sometimes. Shit, your partner's going to be wrong sometimes. You can't
And you're gonna
hang
make
them for it. You're
Yeah,
going to
you're
make
gonna
mistakes.
and-
That's part of being an entrepreneur.
yeah,
You got to learn.
You
from
got to
those
learn
mistakes.
from them. That's a freaking crazy.
Because we've changed. I mean, we've changed our business model. We've changed
Over and over and over and over
I mean, just
again.
not the model, but yeah, the model, but also procedures. We've changed scripts so many times.
it's just crazy to think about how much shit there is involved
Yeah,
to be in a business and improve it.
but going back to the holistic entrepreneur, we always looked at business was separate, friendship was separate, and we both
Oh, dude, that's
had
not
the
easy to
idea.
separate.
No, it wasn't. No, it's hard.
That's
You
what we
can't.
intended.
Yeah.
But no, it's such a fine line, man.
It is.
It's not
But
even a line.
being
It's like a
holistic
dot.
entrepreneurs, we have a deeper relationship than just business because we have other interests that are aligned, other passions that are aligned, but we also have our own lives and other interests that are completely separate as well.
Yeah, exactly. And it's important to recognize that.
Yeah.
I mean, and you know what? If you don't have that mind map and you don't have that clarity, it's like you can't expect someone to do something. Like, if you can't expect your partner to do something if you guys haven't like spoken about it and like drawn it out, because like the clear expectations are on that mind
Right.
map. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because then you're just like, okay, I'm adding value here and here and here in the business, and this is how you're adding value, and like let's try not to step over each other's toes
Yeah.
so often, and then like fuck, then you have that synergy.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So on that note, I found this cool article on Mint. Mint.com is a online budgeting software.
Oh, cool.
And they have a blog that I thought might be really cool to talk about.
Oh, yeah, cool.
So this one is called
So that's what we want to do as a portion of Holistic Entrepreneur is
Show, yeah.
find interesting articles, blog posts,
And see if we can critique
Yeah.
them and comment on them and
videos, whatever. Something that speaks to us as holistic entrepreneurs, and something that we want to discuss with the millions of fans around the world.
yeah. So I guess with this one, it's just really cool to see what people have gone through in their lives. So this one was on Mint, and it's called "The First Jobs of 10 Wealthy Entrepreneurs." So essentially, these freaking big multimillionaires, their first jobs before they started their huge businesses. So let's go to people that we actually know. Like, I don't even know who Ross Perot is. Do you? I'm assuming a ton of people do. Was he?
I think so.
I don't like politicians. So
Isn't he?
Huh?
I think
it sounds like he's a politician.
Warren
wait.
Buffett.
Why
Or
is,
what's
it
the
why
one?
is it blurry like that? Oh, it's probably because we're using the data or the bandwidth. Oh, here's
Maybe.
Warren Buffett. You know, I think is he still the richest man in the world? He's
I
up
don't
there.
really pay attention.
He's
Definitely
he's
up
been the
there.
richest man in the world.
Yeah.
If not, he's
like
freaking
top 5.
the like history's greatest investor. That's what everyone says. Like,
That's
he's
what
the
people
best
say.
investor ever. And this one talks about investing mogul Warren Buffett's first job reads like something out of a novel. And that isn't that funny? Is that these crazy successful people sound like it's a freaking fairy tale. So long before he made history with his shrewd and old-fashioned style investment decisions, the Nebraska native earned his first working capital as a newspaper delivery boy. According to WorkingWorld.com, Buffett was already at age 13, savvy enough to deduct the cost of his bicycle on his first tax return. Are you kidding me?
That's awesome.
So began a path of frugality for Buffett that saw him amass over $140,000 by 26. That's freaking my age. And in 1956,
Wow.
he saved up 140K of 1956 dollars. That's probably $500,000 right now, or more.
Probably when you
or more.
Yeah, adjust for inflation.
If you adjust for inflation, at 26. What the?
That's incredible,
What the
man.
hell? Yeah, and so he started as a newspaper boy. You know what I
Amazing.
mean? That guy's started with nothing. Donald Trump, commercial real estate. Everyone knows Donald Trump. Commercial real estate tycoon Donald Trump got his hands dirty literally for his first working capital. So a lot of people say, this guy grew up with money and, his parents made money, which they actually did. But this is where his first job was. He accompanied his father to job sites and collected empty cans and bottles with his brother for the redemption of value. So they would trade in the cans and bottles and stuff like that and get cash for it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Wow, that's pretty interesting. And then what else happened here? It didn't add up to much, but it no doubt taught him the value of a dollar. Humorously, Trump also knows that he later accompanied Dad on rent collection jobs on to scoop up bottles and cans that way, but quickly learned to stand out of the doorway to avoid the possibility of being shot. So he's freaking like what? Freaking
man,
a
that's
teenager
hilarious.
collecting rent.
Yeah.
And this is like a time of day, like times where people freaking risk their lives to collect rent. That's crazy. And look at him now.
Yeah, it's so easy to collect right now.
And you know what? I think the other he's kind of understated as well, because the fact that he's gone in the hole for like $6 billion.
Yeah, and pulled himself out. He knows the secret of making money.
It takes that says a lot. I mean, if someone could be in the hole by $6 billion and now he's like over $1 billion net worth, that's people gotta be. Success leaves traces. You gotta see what the hell they're up to. Sam Walton. I guess that's Walmart, isn't it?
I think so, yeah.
So if ever an entrepreneur rose up from humble beginnings, it was Sam Walton. The Walmart founder began helping his family make ends meet at an early age and held many jobs. What was he doing? Milking the family cows, bottling milk, hand delivering it to paying customers. So, I mean, I don't want to go through all of these guys. I mean, but I think it's important to see that it looks like back in the day, these hugely successful entrepreneurs, they started out really young, doing little tiny jobs when they were really young.
Yeah.
So they learned work ethic at a really young age.
At a young age. Yeah, that's good. Different than kids nowadays.
Yeah, you know what? There's people, even my age, that until they left university, they didn't have a job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They've never experienced what it's like to serve a customer or deal with customer service complaints,
right?
Or help them find what they want, or mopping a freaking floor, or collecting money or whatever it is. That's wow. If you've never experienced that before in your life, I'm like, you're living in a freaking bubble.
Yeah.
And these guys like Donald Trump and Warren Buffett, they learned this stuff, in their early teens, maybe even before that.
Maybe before, yeah.
Doing little tiny things. It takes a lot of curiosity and a lot of intelligence to think about. I'm going to deduct the cost of my bicycle from my newspaper route. Are you kidding me? I probably made like $100 that year. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, man, that's smart though.
Yeah, at a young age.
At that young
Trump's
age.
freaking collecting bottles and training them in to save up cash. That's
incredible.
Yeah.
Hey, they all started somewhere.
Yeah. So everyone starts somewhere. So it's not like, you have to have like blue blood. You don't have to come from money or anything like that. I mean, the rags to riches story is possible
Oh yeah,
in capitalist societies, or semi-capitalist
capitalist.
societies.
Because you always have the opportunity to make something for yourself.
Yeah.
In countries like North America. Absolutely.
And if you do it successfully, I mean, you can flourish.
Oh yeah,
The
absolutely.
risk is there, but I mean the reward is being able to build something that you can leverage, tenfold or
Yeah,
100-fold.
right. Take a look at the market. I mean, look at all the people today. Take a look at the market. Find something that people want or the people need. Fill that gap. Easy. Done. You just gotta have your eyes open.
And that's the thing with vision. You know what I mean? You got to be able to see value where other people don't see it.
Yeah.
And that's what these guys did.
Absolutely.
Donald Trump puts a tower in the middle of the city when, it's like a depression. You know what I mean? And people are just like, what the hell are you doing? He's like, well, I could buy it for $1 million.
Yeah.
I could buy this building for $1 million where, a couple of years ago it was like worth $100 million. So why wouldn't I buy it? So he's
value.
ready. He's ready, and he sees value when other people aren't seeing it. People might be scared and being like, "There's blood in the streets and everything's tanking." He's just like,
Time to do it.
He's
Time
like,
to do it, man.
He's like, "Oh wait, it's just a cycle. It's gonna go up. It's gonna go down, and whatever, man.
Yeah.
Let it slide." Like they say in Fight Club.
They don't
Slide.
Slide. Cool.
Is that more tea?
Morte.
Nice.
Beautiful.
So what else you got going on for entrepreneurship that you wanted to discuss with some peeps? Oh, they're in the other thing.
Oh.
Uh,
Oops. Oh well.
I'm trying to feel wired from that mate, actually.
Are you?
Yeah.
I'm starting to feel tired. I don't know. Like,
It doesn't affect you? Oh, you know what? It's
No.
supposed to steep for like 8 minutes. Mate.
it's been in there for a while.
That's it?
It's also been used a little
Okay.
bit, so
Okay. Maybe
probably
it's
a lot of
little
the
diluted.
a lot of the kick is already filtered out of it.
Okay.
I don't know. Entrepreneurship.
Oh yeah, I got this article that might be good for us to go over as well. And it touches on some cool freaking stuff that most people kind of just falsely believe without even really questioning it, and listening to gurus and listening to speakers and stuff like that, about entrepreneurship. And there's a lot of myths that this article dispels.
Oh, cool. So like myths, is it myths of entrepreneurship?
It was called 5 Myths of Entrepreneurship. So I actually came across it on StumbleUpon. If you guys don't have StumbleUpon, it's freaking awesome. It actually it uses like a certain algorithm, I guess, based on the stuff that you click like on, so that eventually it finds out what your interests are. So when you click Stumble, it starts sending you relevant content. So the more you use it, the more your stumbles are relevant to what you want to read.
Oh, that's cool.
And you could put freaking any topic. So
Nice.
you'll find so much cool shit. So 5 myths of about entrepreneurship. It's on portfolio.com, and
cool.
the author was Carol Roth. I'm not sure who she is, but yeah, it's pretty much just like telling entrepreneurs what the real deal is. So myth number 1 she talks about is you get to do more of what you love. So that's sort of what we were just talking about.
That.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? 10% of your business, 20% of your business is doing what you love. 80% of it is the stuff that you don't want, that you really don't want to do. The admin, maybe the marketing or the coordinating and the customer service, and maybe there's these things that you're not good at that you need to eventually leverage, but the money doesn't. The money's not there yet to delegate.
The other thing too about that is, doing what you love. Because I look at my business and I use my business as a vehicle to provide me with the resources to do what I love. Because that's the other thing.
Yeah, you make money to do
Make
what
money
you
to
love.
do what I love.
Yeah.
Because
not do what you love to make money.
Yeah. Oh, not at all. Because, well, I've got 2 kids. That's what I love to do. Like, I love being a dad. But I can't just be a dad and how am I supposed to put food on the table? So, my
they're not
business...
paying you?
Yeah, I wish.
Are they not?
So, yeah, I mean, I do my business to provide me the luxury to be able to do what I love, being more of a father.
Yeah.
Because that's another thing too,
So
right?
it funds it. And that's another thing, like business, it funds this. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? We are able to do podcasts.
Yeah, exactly.
We are able to put focus on, for me, it's like making music and doing that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if we could just do this all day, great. But
I know. It would be awesome. But unfortunately, we can't
unless we
do
get
it.
sponsored or something.
We'll see. Yeah.
We'll see.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
The second one is myth number 2. You are the boss. So when people think that because they're entrepreneurs or they start their own business that they're the boss, but I don't think that's entirely true. Like, what does she say here? When you have a job, a handful of people have control over what you get paid, your hours, who you work with, blah 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 blah. You've increased the number of bosses that you have exponentially because every single customer will be influencing your decision. That is so
That's true.
freaking
Well, and you also
true,
think
man.
about if you buy a franchise, you're still answering to somebody.
Yeah, you're answering
not-
to the
You're answering.
Corporate.
You're answering to corporate. So okay, maybe you run your own franchise, but you're still answering to somebody.
and every person that opens the door, you're tailoring and you're servicing their
Absolutely.
needs. So your client is your boss.
Yeah.
Your client is your
Yeah,
employer.
they're telling you what they need. They're telling you what they want. I
Yeah.
mean, real estate, right? Your boss is your client. I'm looking for 3-bedroom, 2-bath in this area with this, right? This much. This is what I
Exactly.
have. You're working for them.
Totally. And you know what? It is a mutually beneficial relationship because you're both getting what you want. You know what I mean? One person is getting a service or a product, and the other party is providing the service or a product in exchange for a
Yeah.
sum of money, which is that's how you make a living. You know what I mean? So I think that's a good myth. It's
Absolutely.
like, I work for myself and that's the greatest thing in the world, and that's the ideal lifestyle. But
Even some people who, you start a business, you start your own type of business with a product or a service, and your business ends up being the boss of you. Like, you don't run your business, your business starts
shit.
running you
Yeah, that's when the machine takes over.
when the
That's-
machine takes over.
That's what people dread.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that happens all the time. When
I don't
you
think-
are the business. The business
people
doesn't
don't
run
notice that
without you.
stuff until they're already into it.
Until you're already
they're
into it,
already in for the
absolutely.
loop. It's like iRobot when the robots take over. Number 3, business is about you. See, I don't know. These make me laugh too, man. It's like, so we have
Oh,
more products
man.
and services available to us than we would ever want or need, which makes today's entrepreneurial landscape very different than it was just 50 years ago. If there's a gap in the market that customers are desperate for a solution, blah blah blah. That's a darn good reason to start a business. But remember, Ray Kroc didn't start McDonald's because he was bored or unfulfilled. He did so to meet a customer need. So, yeah, you don't start a business because of you.
Yeah,
You start
you're
a
not-
business because there's other people who need what you're able to deliver.
Exactly. You're not servicing what a product or service, you're not creating a product or service that is for you. You're doing it for somebody
Mm-hmm.
else. Now, a lot of the times people do create a product service that does service them first, but ultimately if you're going to create a business out of it, it's got to be able to sell it.
Yeah. But now the business itself is for you because your intent is to design it in a way that it supports the lifestyle that you're desiring. So if it's, flexibility, time control, the ability to travel, the ability to leverage and delegate stuff. I mean, yeah, that is for you.
Yeah.
But the essential product and service and increasing the value of your business, that's
for
your
yeah,
customer.
for your customers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not for
Because then
you.
when you create that win for them, you get that win back.
Yeah.
So it's almost you got to give first. And you got to make sure your giving is efficient, effective, and high quality.
Of course.
It's easy. Number 4. I feel like I'm on like David Letterman.
Oh,
Like,
man.
what the hell? So there's a reason the word scheme usually follows a phrase, get rich quick. Honestly, man, everyone wants to get rich quick. And
Oh,
the most
that's too
wealthiest
much.
people that we know did not get rich quick.
No.
You know what I mean? It may seem like they got rich like overnight, but it took them, 5, 10, 50, 20,
Oh, yeah.
50 years to even get there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And the thing is, it's easy. It's easy when you've already made it. But people only see that when you initially meet somebody.
Mm-hmm.
They don't see the 15 years, 20 years
Of blood,
that it
sweat,
took
and
to get to that
tears.
point.
I know.
Because you're a
Freaking
master.
roller
Because
coaster.
when you do what you do and it looks easy, it took a long time to make it look easy.
Yeah. Was it? Oh yeah. So there's Pablo. You probably heard this story, right? Pablo Picasso.
Mm-hmm.
So Pablo Picasso, I guess he was in like the marketplace, and someone noticed that he was there, and he said like, Mr. Picasso, can you take this can you take this and make something beautiful out of it? He gave them a piece of paper to draw on. So Pablo Picasso says, yeah, sure, no problem. He grabs a piece of paper, draws a line here, draws a line there, and within 30 seconds, he was done. And he had this beautiful masterpiece, like eloquent, freaking just like amazing and just like captivating. And he gave it to her, and he's just like, yeah, so that'll be $1,000 or whatever the currency was. And she's like, $1,000? It's like, that took you 30 seconds. And he was just like, my darling, it took 30 years to make that drawing in 30 seconds. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
That
Absolutely.
Yeah, it takes a long time to have that finesse and to do it really well. I'll work with other realtors on stuff, and the experience shows. Like, they've seen this stuff before, and they see it ahead of time. And that's why I surround myself with people who are experienced, because then you have that advantage. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And you see it all the time. It's easy. Like, you see it all the time in music or sports and athletics. Like music, beautiful piece, 2-3 minutes long.
Yeah.
But how long did that artist spend perfecting it to make it sound that way?
Yeah. Michael Jordan.
Countless hours. Yeah, Michael Jordan. Years and years and
He was
countless
told to not
hours.
even try. Right? Wasn't he told not to? This
When he
first
was-
basketball
when he was
coach
first-
said,
yeah.
"Don't even try. Don't even play in a league or anything like that. Give up. You're garbage." But he just freaking did hundreds of free throws every night.
Yeah.
Like at his house, and he just kept going. And look what happened to him.
Yeah.
Kobe
he made
can't
the
touch
game
him.
he made the game look easy, but you don't see what he did when he was in, middle school, high school,
Yeah.
college,
All the stuff.
and
that
then
he put
all the
through.
time he put in the NBA.
I know.
But he made it's easy. It comes easy to him. Oh, not really.
I
The
know.
guy blood, sweat, and tears into becoming the greatest basketball player ever.
Tiger Woods.
Tiger Woods.
Wasn't he? He grew up just to be a golfer.
Yeah, I
Didn't
think
he?
his
He
dad was
ta-
like pulling him onto the golf course when he was a little kid and
Yeah.
berating him.
Yeah, so you see like this amazing success, and people wonder, it's like, how come he's so successful? Well, he started long time ago,
Yeah.
and he had people around him that supported him, and he still surrounds himself with coaches and mentors and stuff like
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
to make sure that he reaches that freaking level.
Yeah, it's easy. It's easy. The end result of what you do when you're at that point, yeah, it's easy, but you don't see what went into making it look easy.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Oh frig! I don't know why I'm getting so many like sports stories,
Sports
anecdotes, analogies. Andre Agassi, I read his book, and throughout his life, he was also kind of tailored to be a tennis player for the longest time.
Right.
And it's just like he put so much work into it, and he loves it so much, he freaking hates it so much. It's the weirdest relationship.
yeah.
So in
I'm sure.
in his autobiography, it's just like, oh my god, you only on TV screens and magazines, you only see one side of the coin. When you read this guy's autobiography, you're like, wow, this guy's freaking haunted.
Yeah.
Like he's
Oh, I'm
tormented,
sure.
man. There's good days and bad days, and his bad days are like it feels like it's worse than freaking what our bad day would be.
Yeah,
You know
I'm
what I mean?
sure.
Where he can't even get up in the morning. He's like stiff and sore, and his body's just is destroyed. Like his
Wow,
body does
yeah.
not work anymore. You know what I mean? It takes him like a while in the shower to like finally like loosen up. Like he feels like
Wow.
100 years old when he wakes up.
That's
And
incredible.
he has to take oh man, it's such a crazy story.
That's incredible. And it's funny because you talk about sports, and this actually just sort of came up where we talk about just sports or music or whatever, and we're talking about being a holistic entrepreneur where like Agassi or Jordan, that is their life. But if you don't have anything outside of that, what happens when it's done? Like what happens at the end of your career? This brings up a good point. I don't know if you saw, but because I know you don't watch football, but this football player just shot himself like yesterday.
Fuck.
Retired a year ago. I mean, the game was his life. But the problem is, like, when the game is your life, or if the business is your life, or if music is your life, What happens at the end? What happens when you can't?
When you haven't taken care of the other aspects.
And when
of
you
your
haven't
life.
taken care of it, when you are not a holistic entrepreneur,
Oh,
when the
God.
other aspects of your life are not fulfilled or enriched, or you've just sort of let that other stuff go, what happens at the end? And this is big, especially for athletes, because there's a shelf life for athletes. You can't do it until you're 80 years old. I mean, there are some sports you can do, but not professionally.
Yeah.
There is a shelf life for professional athletes.
Yeah.
Music, I'm sure it's very similar, but the shelf life for a musician, of course, could be a lot longer. You can be a musician
Depends
into
on
your
if
60s, 70s,
people love
80s.
your stuff.
If people love your
If you
stuff,
keep it-
right?
yeah.
But at the end, what happens?
Yeah.
If
You
you
don't.
just
If you stop doing music, then what?
yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that's why some people go on hiatus. Like to find out, like, what the hell else am I up to?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What is who am I?
Isn't there I don't know if this is BS or whatnot, but I know that some people say that when people retire from like jobs that they've been at for like 30, 40 years, they die within like 5 years after.
Yeah,
they
I've heard
retire.
that.
Isn't that really sad?
That's sad.
It's because they've been looking forward to this moment for their whole life. Like they think that this destination is their salvation. Like my retirement, then I'll be able to enjoy my life. I'll be 65.
Yeah.
But it's like, shit, man. Within 5 years, you might freaking die.
Yeah.
Like, statistically, I don't know. I gotta look into that one. But
Yeah, no, I understand
I've
because
heard that one.
if you don't, I mean, if your job is your life and all you really look forward to is waking up at 7 a.m, go to your job for 8 hours, and then you go home and you sleep or just watch TV, and then you go to sleep and you do it all over again, and then weekends are your only time off, and all you do is just relax on the weekends. What happens when the rest of your life is just weekends? What else do you fill it with?
fuck dude, that inspires me to do the math. Here.
Scary.
So normal guy or gal is working 40 hours a week for a full-time job, 50 hours a year, 2 weeks for vacation. How many hours? You know how many hours that is, right?
No.
2,000 hours.
2,000 hours? Really?
Yeah. So you work 2,000 hours a year out of 365 days, 8,760 hours a year.
Wow.
So what's that
A
percent?
quarter. Just under a quarter.
So
22% or something like
yeah,
that.
so out of 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, 23% of those hours are spent working. So it's either you're working for somebody else in terms of like just regular employer-employee type of situation, or you're working for yourself as an entrepreneur, where you're building something that you can actually leverage more and do more, in less time.
Right.
But yeah, 23.
Well, just think if you add the other 8 hours sleeping, that's 50% of your
Oh,
50% of that year.
Yeah, because 2,000 for sleeping.
2,000 for sleeping if you sleep 8 hours a day.
Yeah. So
What are you going to fill that? What are you going to fill that other 50% with?
yeah.
If you don't have, I mean, you do your music. You're very
when-
passionate. I mean,
How much time do we spend on the toilet? Like so like that's like 300, maybe 400 or 500 hours a year. Or no, I don't know. That's too much.
oh, that's too much.
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean,
but still, that's a extreme investment, and people, they don't have enough time, and there's not enough time in the day. I can't get enough stuff done. Like, well, you're putting 23% of all of your time every year into this one thing. Don't you think it's worth a little bit to mind map it out and see if this makes sense for you, and kind of see if this is taking you in the direction that you want to go, and does it make you happy, and am I able to leverage myself in this job or in this business?
Right.
Does this make sense?
Yeah.
And sometimes people avoid that because they're scared of the answer.
Yeah.
They're scared the answer is going to be no.
It's important to mind map your life too.
Yeah.
Find out what your passions are. Find out what other things that you want to do, you want to learn, you want to experience.
Yeah.
So that at the end, okay,
You have a plan.
You have a plan.
A little bit of
a little bit of a
an
plan.
idea.
At least you have.
I know that I want to learn how to surf.
Yeah.
I know that I have probably 30 or 40 books on my bookshelf that I've never read. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like
similar.
I
Me
know
too.
that I'm going to read those. Like I'm reading what's it called? Zen: The Art of Happiness.
Oh, cool.
I bought that maybe 3 years ago. Never picked it up. I'm like, why am I going to read this happiness book? I'm a happy guy.
Yeah.
But then I just saw it in a blog article, and I'm just like, oh, it was like 50 tips, like for a balanced life.
Okay.
And they recommend this book, and I'm just like, oh, cool. It's a really tiny book, and I'm just
Oh, you
ripping
could
through it. I'm like, oh,
Rip
good.
through it.
You know what? I find that when you read those types of books and you get those anecdotes and you get those like analogies and you get those quotes, oh man, you have so much to draw from. Like you have the wisdom and you have the experience of thousands and thousands of years
Right.
behind you to help propel you forward. It's freaking wicked, man.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's very cool. Yeah. What's the next point?
Oh
Or
yeah.
the last point?
I think
Going on to that?
You can equals you should.
You can't.
Okay, so just because you can do something doesn't mean that you should, that you will, or that you will be successful, or that it's the best choice for you given your goals, circumstances, and opportunities. You have to look at the rewards of your opportunity and see if they justify the risks. And I'm talking both financially and qualitative risks and rewards here. So a lot of people trade in their salary and risk their savings, blah blah blah, for an opportunity. Yeah. Okay. So essentially,
so it's just like just because there's an opportunity there, it doesn't mean you should take it.
oh
And just
my
because
God.
you can't take it.
Yeah, Mike Gillespie, he put up a quote, or he put up a picture where it pretty much talks about he's like, don't go for every shiny object that's out there,
Right.
because there's so many different opportunities. And
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what, like, I love entrepreneurs. I admire them because I'm an entrepreneur myself, and I know what it means to be an entrepreneur and have that life. But there are so many business opportunities, and it's like I'm not looking for any more opportunities. You know what I mean? I know what I'm doing. So when people do bring stuff up to me, I don't want to offend them, but I'm not interested. You know what I mean? Like, I'm already not interested. Like, I'm already not considering it. I've made the decision ahead of time
Right.
to say no to you. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Because I've thought about it. I've seen a lot of like different ideas, but I know what makes sense for me.
Yeah.
So when people are bringing these opportunities to you, you get these emails, you go to these seminars and workshops. If you don't have that mind map, if you don't have that vision, you can't like really make a proper decision.
Right.
Otherwise, you're just going at the flight of your seat. You're not going based on some sort of plan that you yourself have designed.
Yeah, that's a great point. I thought when I first read the headline, I thought it was just like just because you can do everything in the business doesn't mean you should.
So
I thought that's what it meant.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just same sort of thing, right? Just because it's good if you're ever going to grow your business, you're going to have to start delegating stuff.
Yeah.
But that's a great point. I mean, even getting into business just because you.
Oh yeah,
can.
I guess there's a lot of there's a lot of ways to look at it. So I mean, there's the whole chef idea, right? I mean, if you're the chef, like you shouldn't be doing everything else,
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
if you're the chef of the restaurant, you shouldn't be the server. You shouldn't be the greeter.
You should be the prep. You shouldn't be the
the prep.
dishwasher.
Yeah, just
because
but
you can.
You can
Yeah.
operate the entire thing from end to end, but it doesn't mean that you should be doing it.
Right.
Because really 10% should be what you're doing. And everything else eventually other people should be doing.
Yeah.
And you're creating employment opportunities for other people, right?
Yeah, that's the other thing too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's a good question. That's a good myth because you can go at it a lot of different ways.
Was that the 5? That was the 5.
No, there's one more. Yeah, so there's a little extra one
That was
here.
okay.
So, and the one truth. Also, okay, so there's a myth and then there's one truth. So it's called the rule of 3. Oh, no, I remember this now. So this is my way of cheating 3 truths into one. But go with me here. Here's what you can take to the bank. Everything is going to take 3 times longer than it should do to complete. Whether it's a legal contract. Oh my, that totally applies to us right now.
Man.
Inside joke. Getting revenue or getting your website up and running. It will cost 3 times what you budgeted. It will be 3 times more difficult to execute than you expect. Even if you think you're being conservative or realistic, you probably are underestimating the time, money, and effort required to make your business a success. Oh, my gosh.
Just thinking about when we did our website.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
3 times longer, 3 times as much.
Like even this blog. Look, the first video that we put up was like in May. And then the next one we did was in like March.
Yeah.
Of the year after.
The year after.
You know what I mean? So our intention was like, let's create this show and let's like talk about whole like entrepreneurship and let's do this. That was a long time
it
ago.
took us to be able to be consistent. Took
We
us
have
a
some
lot longer.
contracts that we're dealing with that we
Yeah.
want to wrap up. That's taken long. It's the truth, man. That is the freaking truth.
That's even more than 3 times longer.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll get to it later this month.
Yeah.
It's like a year and a half.
You know what it is, because when you are wearing all the hats in the beginning of the business, it consumes all your time.
Yeah.
Like you will lose yourself in all the different things that you could be doing. And that's why you can work 60, 80 plus hours a week, because there's always something to do.
There's always something to do.
And for me, like when I get in a role, like I find it hard to self-manage. You know what I mean? Because it's just like I could just be on all the time, like on the freaking computer and thinking and writing shit down, and
Yeah.
it's
So
freaking
much to do.
yeah. You can become a workaholic if you aren't already. You know what I mean? It's freaking scary shit.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, that was a good article. I like that.
Yeah. No, I'm glad that I'm glad that I found that one. It was so freaking relevant. Like,
Yeah.
everyone. So yeah, I'll see it again here, and I'll put the link in the description of this video. So it is 5 myths and 1 absolute truth about entrepreneurship, and the author is Carol Roth. She's the author of The Entrepreneur Equation, Evaluating the Realities, Risks, and Rewards of Having Your Own Business. Oh, that's really good. It came out March 2011.
Oh, cool.
So over a year ago. And you know what? I'm going to put a link to this video to this article so that she sees it as well.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Is that awesome?
Cool. I like that. Yeah, so we're going to be doing a lot more of that.
Yeah.
Critiquing articles, discussing articles,
Yeah.
blog posts, videos, stuff that we find interesting that applies to holistic entrepreneurship.
Yeah. So if there's anything else that you guys want to hear about, or if you want us to talk about like a specific article, or if you want us to do a review on a speaker or a book or something like that, that could be something that we do too. We could bring like a stack of entrepreneur books and kind of just see the value that we got out of them. I think that would be really valuable.
That would be pretty
too.
cool.
Yeah.
That would be pretty cool.
Cool, man. So if you haven't already, you follow us on, we're on
Yep.
Facebook.com/
Christopher G. Lim.
Christopher G. Lim. I'm on Facebook.com/ Oliver Manalis. This will be posted on the Holistic Entrepreneur.
On Facebook.
Facebook. So Holistic Entrepreneur.
Is
on
it the
Facebook.
Holistic Entrepreneur, or did you take off the?
I think it's
Or
just go in the search
you
bar,
find it.
Holistic Entrepreneur, and this video will be also on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, on YouTube. Cool.
And Ustream. Well, you're probably
And
watching this live
Ustream.
on Ustream right now.
It'll be everywhere. All right. Thank you so much for watching. This is freaking so fun.
Yeah, it was a good. I like this too. Like, this is cool doing the whole holistic entrepreneur show compared to the other show's really fun too. The unnamed show. We still need a name. People, give us some suggestions.
Yeah.
So we still need a name for the other show. That's fun because we're just talking about shit we like.
Yeah.
This is cool because it's
We're just being like
specifically-
that is very much we're just being us and just talking about the stuff that we think is interesting right now.
Yeah.
And this one I think is more kind of a little bit more focused on the topic and what we want to talk
discuss
about.
with being entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
This is definitely entrepreneur specific.
Yeah.
Still, we bring a lot of the stuff that we like into it because
and that's the thing, man. When you're an
gotta
entrepreneur,
peel back the onion, right?
It goes,
Peel back the layers.
It freaking goes all together.
it
It's
does
all
exactly.
hand in
It goes
hand,
all
man.
together. It goes all together.
And you know what? I like it's good to have a shorter episode every once in a while too.
Yeah, yeah. Because when we get a guest on for the unnamed show, whatever we're doing,
Yeah, and
that thing goes. Jeez, that goes
it
like
flies.
that.
Yeah.
So
Because we're talking about so many
with
different
John,
things. That's the
2
thing.
hours with Muhammad.
Yeah, because we're talking about so
that
many
goes
things.
so quick.
So yeah, keep an eye out on our updates on Facebook and Twitter. Oh, I gotta get on Twitter. But
Do we have a Twitter for Holistic Entrepreneur?
No, I'll just
I
put it
don't
on our
think so.
personal Twitter. We'll
Whatever.
do that for now. But I'm looking forward to the following episodes of the unnamed
Unnamed
show.
show.
We're gonna have Andrew McDonald coming up of
Oh, nice.
Ownership Solutions, one of the people that we've worked with when we were doing Rent to Own,
Somebody we mentored.
and someone who we mentored like 8 months ago now, 9 months ago.
He's
now.
doing great.
And he's freaking awesome.
Good for him.
And then we have I know Mike Gillespie, who is a real estate entrepreneur business coach.
That's gonna be awesome.
He
with
was
Mike,
part of our mastermind group in 2011
because he's got a great
and
story.
he has an amazing story.
Like from
I love that guy.
we should get him on because when he
He's
left
going
his
away. He's going on a
job,
cruise.
like exactly
I, already,
a year ago.
I gave him a happy anniversary on April 30th.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So,
right.
I'm trying to get him on the
That'd
show.
be awesome. Yeah,
I've already
there you go.
mentioned it to him. I want to get Cam on the show.
Can be nice.
I don't know if he's
That'll be deep.
yeah. I don't know if he's down to come here or go over there. I still gotta convince him. Still, Cam Carroll. He is a good friend of ours, real estate investor, very deep guy, surfer, freaking musician, like extraordinaire, man.
He's
I want
a soul
I want to get
surfer.
I want to get Joey Ragona on here too, who's Mike Gillespie's partner.
That'll be intense.
We'll have so much to talk about, and I know Muhammad's looking forward to coming back, and so is John.
John's coming
Who
back.
always,
I met very close. I don't know, very close, but a friend of yours, Kyle.
Kyle,
at the,
man, yeah,
at
he's
the
like a
investment show.
Yeah, he's like a
Kyle Pulis.
20 something, running a freaking amazing like real estate portfolio LP.
That's
Like,
cool. Because
very- like
I've
when you
never actually
look
spoke
at
to him, but
when
it'd
you
be
look-
nice to have him on the show and talk about that. Because I'd love to learn more about him.
When you look at guys like in those stories, like Donald Trump and Warren Buffett and how they started, his dad was investing in real estate for a long time, and he grew up with that business.
That's cool.
And like he knew the stuff from early on, like his work ethic and his mindset. He's freaking he's gonna be a great guy.
Be cool.
To have on
Rav,
the show.
we gotta get Rav on too.
We gotta get we've been on his show 2 times, so we should get him. We should reciprocate and
The law of reciprocity, my friend.
yeah, man. So look forward to more shows, and we look forward to hearing what you have to say and your responses, and definitely make sure to tune in next time.
Absolutely. And those will be on the other show, right? Guests are on the other show. This is just you and I.
Yeah, this will be the
That's cool.
entrepreneur.
Whatever.
Focused.
You guys will tune in anyway.
Yeah, it'll all be on the same.
All be on the same
feed.
channel.
Yeah, exactly.
You'll catch it anyway.
All right. Have a great evening, everyone. Talk to you later.